So today, we're going to talk about the psychology of digital scarcity. It's this invisible force that designers and marketers use to influence what you click, what you buy, and even how you feel online. And a lot of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? Your heart starts beating just a little bit faster. You see that countdown timer ticking away on a deal you were just kind of looking at, and all of a sudden, there's this intense pressure to act right now. Or maybe you've seen this. Ah, yes, the classic. It's amazing how a single line of text can turn you from a casual browser into a determined buyer in, like half a second? It just creates this immediate feeling that you've stumbled upon the very last great deal on the internet and you have to grab it. So what is really going on here? I mean, is this just a helpful heads up from the retailer, or is there something more to it? Let's break down this invisible push that we're all feeling online. Okay, let's just be super clear about this. That feeling of urgency, it is absolutely not an accident. It's a carefully, meticulously engineered experience. Digital platforms have basically mastered the art of creating the illusion of scarcity to directly guide our behavior. And to really get how this all works, we need to decode the core concept that they're using. It's called digital scarcity. And as you can see, the key word here is perception. I mean, think about it. An online course, a software download, an ebook, these things can be copied a billion times at almost zero cost. But by manufacturing a feeling of limitation, platforms can make them feel rare, and because of that, incredibly valuable. And this is where the big difference lies. You know, physical scarcity is real. A concert hall only has a certain number of seats, period. But digital scarcity, that's all psychological. It's not about real-world limits. It's about manufactured ones, like putting a cap on an online class that could technically enroll millions of people. And in the digital world, this is just so potent. A single scarcity message can reach the entire globe, instantly. It's designed specifically to tap into our built-in cognitive biases, the mental shortcuts our brains love to take. And it's constantly reinforced with emails and notifications, all to build up this perceived value out of thin air. So how exactly are they pulling this off? What's going on inside our own heads that makes us so vulnerable to this stuff? Let's take a look at the hidden triggers these platforms are flipping like switches. And first up is the big one, I'm sure you've heard of it, FOMO, the fear of missing out. In this digital age, we are constantly bombarded with what other people are doing and buying and experiencing, which just makes this feeling more intense than it has ever been. At its heart, FOMO is all about our social wiring. It's that nagging anxiety that everybody else is in on some secret, a great deal, an amazing experience, and you're about to be left out in the cold. It taps right into our ancient, evolutionary need to be part of the tribe. Back in the day, being left out could literally mean danger. All right. The next trigger is a huge one in behavioral economics. It's called loss aversion. And believe me, this is one of the most powerful and deeply rooted biases we all have. Just think about that for a second. Our brains are literally hardwired to feel the sting of losing something about twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of gaining that exact same thing. So the fear of losing a 50% discount is a way bigger motivator than the simple prospect of getting one. And the third key trigger is social proof, which you might know as herd mentality. We're social creatures, right? So we instinctively look to other people for clues on how we should behave. This is one of our brain's favorite shortcuts. I mean, why spend hours researching a product when you can just see that it has, 10,000 five-star reviews? When we see a crowd gathering, whether it's online or in the real world, our gut instinct tells us they must know something we don't. And so we just follow right along. Okay, so now we get the psychology behind it. Let's look at the actual toolkit. How do these platforms and marketers combine all of these triggers out there in the real world? This table really lays it all out. That flash sale timer, yep, that's hitting your sense of urgency and your loss aversion. That only two left alert, that's pure artificial scarcity designed to trigger your FOMO. A limited NFT drop combines exclusivity with social proof. Everyone sees the hype. And those exclusive memberships, they create a sense of status by gating access. See, they're not just using one trigger, they're layering them on top of each other for maximum effect. Okay, so I know this all might sound a little bit dark, maybe even manipulative, but the goal here isn't to make you cynical, it's to make you aware. Because honestly, understanding these tactics is the absolute key to taking back control. The next time you feel that digital push, that little rush of urgency, just pause for a second and ask yourself these questions.
Is this scarcity real, or is it totally engineered? Am I reacting to something of true value, or just to a psychological trigger? Is this really my decision, or is one of my cognitive biases making it for me? Just asking these questions can be enough to break the spell.
And that's really the bottom line here. You can't control an impulse if you don't understand it. By recognizing these triggers when they're happening, you get to shift from being a passive reactor to being a conscious, active decision maker. So, the next time you're online and you feel that rush, you'll know exactly what's going on under the hood. And you can ask yourself the most important question of all. Is this true value, or is it just a brilliant illusion? Now you have the tools to decide.